Alice, stay with us. Jeremy, I want to bring you in as well. So you've been monitoring Donald Trump's Truth Social posts in just these last few minutes. We knew that he had come out and he was railing against the judge. He's going on back to all caps and really railing on the justice system.
Yeah, and it's really upsetting, to put it nicely. One of the things he said about 45 minutes ago is, my constitutional rights to free speech. Everybody's allowed to talk and lie about me, but he's not allowed to defend himself, and the judge should recuse himself. To say that that's been stripped from him is such a lie and a misnomer. And what it's doing is it's allowing people to sort of imbibe on and swig on this noxious untruth that really corrupts people's view of the criminal justice system. And there's very few things in this nation that are so important than the criminal justice system. Always the prosecution's burden. He is absolutely unequivocally innocent until if and when proven guilty. But what he does outside that courtroom has lasting and dramatic impacts across the entire United States, no matter whether you're in New York, Alabama, Georgia, California. And it's deplorable, as to put it nicely, and this is where his attorneys need to grab him if they were really doing what was right, and say, you have to stop.
But I would point out, this is also a consistent message that he has repeatedly railed against the justice system, what he sees as a corrupt system.
Absolutely.
Anytime he is charged with something, it's unfair against him. You know, and I'd love to bring Duane St in on this conversation too. Picking up on your point, Jeremy, when we're looking at where the message that goes out there is what he wants in terms of that message. But David, also, in terms of his attorneys being able to control that, how damaging could this be for him moving forward, especially on the day that we're waiting to hear from the judge about the gag order?
Erica, very damaging. You know, the biggest problem the attorneys have in this case is not necessarily confronting the evidence and the witnesses, but controlling their client. As you've mentioned before, you have a judge who told everyone that he was considering what he was going to do, how much he was going to fine him, setting this up potentially down the road for incarceration for a continual violation of a direct order. And then the person who's the subject of all of this steps outside and starts railing against the judge. He's allowed to do that, but he doesn't seem to hear what's going on, and his lawyers are having a very tough time controlling him. And he's not a person who likes to be controlled, rather. And quite frankly, that's what's playing against him during this trial. We've heard the witness on the stand, David Pecker, testify that Trump wanted to know what was going on. He micromanaged, he saw what was going on. And so we're seeing an example of this in testimony in court, and then how he acts outside the courtroom, and it's a dangerous combination.
Mm-hmm. It's also important to look at, as he's railing against, this is violating my free speech. There has come in multiple times about, you know, where does political speech fall under free speech? And is anything that you say, if you say it's political, is that automatically protected?
Well, not necessarily if it's furthering a crime, for example.
Right.
So it's not the situation. And I just want, before we just get off this topic, one of the other issues I think is tomorrow or the next day, which will happen, when somebody misbehaves in a courtroom. Well, Donald Trump could do it and nothing happened. Why do I have to respect the process? That's another big problem. It's not just the belief in the system, it's the behavior within the system. So I just want to point that out. But yes, not all free speech is created equal.
Right. And also, so to your point, everybody needs to be treated equal under the justice system. And so if in a different courtroom, in a different city or town, someone says, but Donald Trump could do this, it raises an interesting point. We're going to continue the discussion in just a moment. Stay with us. A quick break here.